Hey everybody, welcome to the Mana Leek. I'm John as always, and it's time for the weekly Magic News Update for September 10th, 2017. And we've got some big news this week. As well, after the news, I'll be trying out something a little new, story time section, where I recap this week's Magic story. I highly recommend reading them, but for those who don't have the time or just want the story beats and not the full prose, I'll recap it at the end. Up first, let's stick to Exalan a little bit. Dinosaurs are here, and that means a whole lot of Blankosaurs from Magic's history are going to become the creature-type dinosaur. Alpha Tyrannix, Deathmist Raptor, Phonetic Raptor, Ridgetop Raptor, and regular old Tyrannix are now dinosaur beasts. They keep the beast creature type because beasts is a supported type, and it's important to keep them that. Dromasaur, Imperiosaur, Pangasaur, Pygmy Allosaurus, Ripscale Raptor, and Shivan Raptor are all becoming boring regular dinosaurs. Magmasaur is an elemental dinosaur, Putrid Raptor is a zombie dinosaur beast, and finally Fungasaur is a fungus dinosaur, because what else would it be? This will be a bit of a boost to help out those who want to get a jump start on their janky dinosaur tribal decks for Commander, Canadian Highlander, etc. HasCon was this week, and it looks like a ton of fun. I definitely like to make it to one in the future, assuming that it continues to be a thing. One of the big things that happened there was the first drafts of Iconic Masters. For those who missed it, Iconic Masters is a set coming out in November that's simply iconic cards from Magic's past, and it was drafted 100% blind at HasCon. Those who sat down and opened those packs were seeing those cards for the very first time, having no idea what they were going to be, and I'm sure that was an amazing experience. I obviously can't go over the entire 249 card set, but there are some pretty awesome cards in there, including beautiful new art for cards like Ancestral Visions, Cryptic Command, even Mana Drain got a reprint. Looks like it'll be a cool set that'll draft once or twice until my budget for it runs out. Iconic Masters releases to the rest of us on November 17th. Also at HasCon, we got to see the unstable lands and what they'll look like. People love the unglued lands. I say people, but not including myself. I honestly dislike the unglued lands. The border is just ugly to me. And people really love the unhinged lands, and I'm definitely a people there. The unstable lands look to be some of the most beautiful lands ever printed, though. We've got another set of 5 John Avon lands that are about as borderless as they can possibly get. I can't wait to get a bunch of these. I'm definitely buying a box of the set to draft, and no promises, but I'm considering setting up a stream for it, including card recognition and everything. Both players mic'd. I've got the equipment, I just need to figure it out, but no promises. Plus, I'll be drafting it in store at least a couple of times, as often as I can, frankly. Honestly, if I get tired of Exalan prize packs, I might even see if I can get Unstable as my prize packs at FNM, just to collect these lands. And in foil, these are going to be gorgeous and pricey as time comes on. This just makes me all the more excited for Unstable, which comes out on December 8th, and that can't get here soon enough. As I mentioned last week, we also got to find out a whole lot about what Magic the Gathering Arena was. Turns out, as expected, it's just the next Magic Duel style program, though more robust for sure. It's a very modern digital card gamey game, which might be a plus to some and might be a minus to others. It's somewhat of a minus to me. I find animations annoying and distracting. I don't want my cards to fly if they have flying. I don't want them to zoom over and hit the opponent and then zoom back. I don't want dinosaurs to be jumping out of my card and roaring when I play them. I want it to be what MTGO is. I want overhead and just the cards are cards on a table. But anyways, I know some people do love that, and that is definitely the way that card games are going in the digital space. It'll focus on the latest Magic sets, with all of Standard being available when it launches, and then each new set will be added. There is no plans for older sets to be added. It also has no launch date, by the way. It is currently in alpha. It'll be free to play, and the mechanisms and costs for that have not been determined and or discussed yet. I fully imagine that it's going to be very Hearthstone style, where it is quote-unquote free to play, but if you want to build a specific deck in Standard, you need to play several hundred hours or throw money at booster packs until you get the cards that you want. There is not going to be trading, which means you are only going to be getting your cards out of the packs. They've not yet mentioned if there's a crafting system yet, but that still, of course, takes a good deal of time to get the cards that you want. There will also be limited, but there's been no discussions yet of what that'll look like, and I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if it isn't some sort of butchered version of the paper 8-person pod drafting that we know and love in paper. But the intention is that MTGO will be the place to go for everything that is not the latest standard. So modern, legacy, vintage, cube, probably real drafting, or as real as draft leagues are, grumble grumble, PTQs, mocks, etc. That's what MTGO is going to be for. But if you're looking for standard, probably casual, and probably hours of grinding or throwing money at random booster packs to get the exact cards that you want, then MTG Arena is there for you. I don't want to be too dismissive of it. I'm 100% going to play it, and I am looking forward to it. But I'm looking forward to it as a casual way to play Magic without spending much money, a way to play a quick game on my phone before bed, etc. It's not going to replace MTGO, and those who weren't interested in duels probably aren't going to be terribly interested in MTG Arena. And as I often talk about in these news updates, that's fine. Not everything has to be designed for you. If it's designed for other people, let them enjoy it. There's tons of products that exist or will exist that will be designed for you in mind. If you had no interest in duels, you probably have no interest in this, but that's what MTGO is there for. As I mentioned, it's in alpha, but signups for the closed beta are live at playmtgarena.com, so you can go and sign up there. You'll get put into a priority queue if you do play in an Exalan pre-release with the DCI number that you sign up with, or if you play in a release event on MTGO and sign up with your MTGO email address, or if you were a duels player already, you can use your duels, I can't remember what the acronym is for it, but the ID number for your duels account can be used as well to get you into the priority. There's no date set for when that closed beta will start, and they will be doing it in waves, but they say it'll start sometime this year. The closed beta will be only on PC, but given that it's being made in Unity and that they're making a very serious commitment to the digital space, I would be shocked if they're not aiming for a PC, Mac, iOS, Android launch or shortly after launch, like Hearthstone did for everybody who says, oh, this is only on PC, Hearthstone's on everything. Hearthstone was only on PC to start, and then a month later it came to iOS, and then several months later it came to Android. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Anyways, with the news out of the way, it's time for story time. For those who don't know and wonder where everyone gets the lore of the Magic sets, every Wednesday on Daily MTG, the next Magic story is released. They definitely range in quality, with some of them being fantastic. Alison Lurs is amazing at writing them, and some being definitely much less good. I still highly recommend reading them, but not everyone has the time or interest to read them, and so I just want to keep everybody up to date with the latest happening in the Magic lore. So this week we join the man waking up on a beach. He doesn't know who he is, where he is, why he is, or anything. We, of course, know that he's Jace. What he does discover quickly is that it feels almost natural to let his body dissolve and leave this world. But as he attempts to planeswalk away, he's slammed back by some sort of magical seal. He attempts this another time later in the story, and again, the seal appears and slams him back into Exalan. Exalan does not let planeswalkers leave. After being tormented for days by visions of strangers who we happen to know or identify as Liliana, Gideon, Tamio, Lavinia, and a few others, he comes to the realization that he's some sort of mage and that those strangers, those visions, are actually illusions that he's creating. There's actually a really good little section where he creates fire finally in a very Castaway style way, and then throws a fish on it to cook it, only to discover that the fire's cold and he just made an illusion of fire. Eventually, he decides he needs to get off this tiny little island that he's on. He calls it Useless Island, and the community has really stuck with that. The community desperately wants a card called Useless Island. He builds a raft, he makes a supply cache, and he heads out to sea as we see him on his Planeswalker card. After a couple of days of pretty okay sailing, a storm absolutely demolishes his raft, and he drifts ashore completely bedraggled and very un-Jace looking. Crew of pirates come up and find him on the shore, and it just so happens that this pirate crew is led by Vraska, who has a very negative history with Jace. Jace chased her off of Ravnica as she was an assassin there. Vraska approaches him, telling him that she's going to turn him to stone for use as her ship's new figurehead, but as she reaches him and sees him completely demolished and having no clue who he is, who she is, or anything, the story simply ends with her asking Jace, "What the hell happened to you?" So that's going to wrap it up for the weekly Magic News update. Let me know what you think of all of that Magic News. What do you think of MTG Arena? Are you excited for it? Do you love those unstable lands? And if you don't, what kind of monster are you? Let me know about HasCon. Were you there? Let me know for sure in the comments down below. And do you like story time? Do you want me to keep giving the recap of the weekly story at the end of each weekly news update. But as always, if you do have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. You can find me on Twitter at the Mana Leek. That's Leek, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at facebook.com/themanaleek, twitch.tv/themanaleek, and patreon.com/themanaleek. If you like the content, click that thumbs up button. Click subscribe if you want to see more and you haven't already. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.